I've written 3 poems in the course of my oeuvre, which are about naked public bathing. It's a wonderful practice. The first was about public baths in Japan. The second was taken out of our sauna up on in the Sierra where we live. And this comes out of a sauna up on Baranof Island, Alaska, where after 4 or 5 days of heavy-duty conferencing with a lot of resource people, many of whom are women, we went out to John and Jan Straley's place on the water and had a sauna. So this is number 3 in the Naked Public Bathing series. And this one's called The Sweat. Now I must sit naked, socks and glasses tucked into my moccasins, wearing only earrings and a faded tattoo. On a cedar bench too hot to touch, buttocks take it, legs fold, back eases onto the burning wall, sweating and the in-breath cooled through a wet-soaked towel, an old Aleut trick, and look out the small window on a snow-capped volcano, and inside toward the stove the women who sweat here and groan and laugh with the heat. The women speak of birth at home, of their children. Their breasts hang softer, the nipples darker, ears, eyes clear and warm. Naked, legs up, we have all raised children. I could love each one. Their ease, their opened, sweet, older, still youthful, womanly being bodies. And outside, naked, cooling on the deck, midsummer's far northern soft dusk eve, bare skin to the wind, older is smarter and more tasty. Minds tough and funny, many lovers, at the end of days of talking science, writing, values, spirit, politics, poems. Different shoes and shirts in little heaps. Sit naked, silent, gaze on chests and breasts and knees and knobby feet, in the tide smell, on the bleached deck planks, like seals hauled out for sunning. Crinkles by the eyes, limber legs crossed, single mothers past parenting, back to college, running a business, checking salmon for fish and game, writing a play, an article, a novel, waitressing and teaching, in between men friends, teenage son, doing a dissertation on the humpbacked whales, doing tough-assed poems, naked comfort, scant fear, strong soul, naught to hide. This life, we get old enough and finally really like it. Meeting and sweating at a breezy beach. The bears and the cougars have come back, at least for a little while, in this little funny window where you wouldn't expect their populations to necessarily increase. But they are, I guess, because the old sort of redneck hunting population has been replaced by suburbanites through much of the foothills, people who don't hunt. At the same time, as the suburbs spread, the habitat shrinks. And so this little bulge of population right now may go down again, especially as a growing kind of paranoia about cougars, fears about your dogs, your goats, your chickens, your children begin to sweep over people. We're beginning to see that happen now. I keep telling my friends, they never attack children, don't worry about it. I hope that's true. I mean, I tell that to my 9-year-old stepdaughter. You know, when she goes out to the outhouse alone at night, and I'm thinking, wait a minute now, is that true? Because last year, coming back about dusk from visiting a neighbor and walking down a trail through the pine trees, up to our house, sitting under my stepdaughter's window where she was playing the piano, was a full-grown cougar, listening to the music. And then when he saw me, he sort of cruised up the hill. So I don't know. Well, welcome back, cougars. We hope you can do all right here. And the bears, too, are back in larger numbers than they were, say, 20 years ago when I first moved to the foothills. And this poem, right in the trail, is a celebration of the return of the black bear. And you'll note the reference to a certain classical myth in it. The story of the girl who married a bear, that is. Right in the trail. Here it is, near the house. A big pile, fat scats, studded with those deep red, smooth-skinned manzanita berries. Such a pile, such droppings, awesome. And I saw how the young girl in the story had good cause to comment on the bear scats she found while picking blueberries with her friends. She laughed at them, or maybe with them. She jumped over them, bad luck, and is reported to have said, "Wide anus," to amuse or to annoy the big brown ones, who are listening, of course. They say the ladies have always gone berrying, and they all join together to go out for the herring spawn or to clean green salmon. And that big set of lessons on what bears really want was brought back by the girl who made those comments. She was taken on a year-long excursion deep into the mountains, through the tangled deadfalls, down into the den. She had some pretty children by a young and handsome bear. Now I'm in the dirt, looking at these scats, and I want to cry, not knowing why, at the honor and the humor of coming on this sign that is not found in books or transmitted in letters, and is for women just as much as men. A shining message for all species, a glimpse at the faces of the great ones passing, with a peek into her whole wild system and what was going on last week, mostly still manzanita. Dear bear, do stay around. Be good. And though I know it won't help to say this, chew your food. Steve Herrero, who's a bear biologist up in British Columbia, says very succinctly, he says, bear scats are the window into the bear's world. What a funny thought, you know? It's like looking up and in and out and back. Some of you remember, I'm sure, I know at least one of you here remembers, the poet Lou Welch. And the vanished poet Lou Welch, who was a dear friend of mine, and who disappeared from where he was living up on Allen Ginsberg's In My Land back in 1973. Lou comes into my memory from time to time unexpectedly, and last spring he came into it again in this way, which is recorded in this poem called For Lou Welch in a Snowfall. Snowfall in March. I sit in the white glow reading a thesis about you, your poems, your life. The author is my student. He even quotes me. 40 years since we joked in a kitchen in Portland. 20 since you disappeared. All those years and their moments, crackling bacon, slamming car doors, poems tried out on friends, will be one more archive, one more shaky text. But life continues in the kitchen, where we still laugh and cook, watching snow.